couple of headlines for you in the race. Hillary Clinton taking a bold stance on immigration reform. Her headline is that she's saying she supports a path to full and equal citizenship for undocumented immigrants. Bernie Sanders is one of the few on the left saying Hillary is not a shoo-in. He is challenging her for the nomination, and he's doing his first morning interview here on New Day to make the case. Senator Sanders, welcome to the race. Good luck to you. The big question is, why you, not Hillary?
Well, I think for the last 30 years, since I was mayor and a congressman and a senator, what I've been focusing on is the needs of working families and the middle class. And right now, Chris, we have a situation where for the last 40 years, the middle class of this country has been disappearing. People are working longer hours for low wages. And yet, almost all of the new income and all the new wealth is going to the top 1%, 99% of all new income. In terms of wealth, the distribution of wealth is absolutely obscene. The top 1/10 of 1% owns almost as much wealth as the bottom 90%. I am prepared to take on the billionaire class, and I think that's what has to happen if we're going to see a middle class in this country expand rather than continue to shrink.
Amen, say families all across this country, Senator, but Hillary says the same thing, that she's for everyday Americans. Why Bernie Sanders and not Hillary Clinton?
Well, I think people have got to, first of all, let me tell you this, Chris. I've known Hillary Clinton for 25 years. I like her and I respect her. And I am running for working families in the middle class, not against Hillary Clinton. But I think people have got to look at the record. I have voted against every disastrous trade agreement coming down the pike and helping to lead the effort against this Trans-Pacific Partnership, which will mean the outsourcing of more good-paying jobs to low-wage countries. People have got to look at Secretary Clinton's record. Later today, I'm going to continue my effort to call for a breakup of the largest financial institutions on Wall Street, who, in my view, if they're too big to fail, they're too big to exist. They have simply too much power. I am calling for and will introduce legislation that will provide free college university education at public colleges and universities in this country, no tuition. We have introduced legislation that says to the wealthiest people and the largest corporations, you know what, you're going to have to start paying your fair share of taxes. You can't stash your money in the Cayman Islands and other tax havens. I've been a leader in terms of climate change, introduced legislation for the first time that would have a carbon tax and say, this is a global crisis. America has got to move away from fossil fuel and carbon. Those are my views, and people will have to judge Secretary Clinton's views.